You guys, you know it's going to be a good day when the FedEx truck pulls up and you know it's full of a bunch of plants you ordered. Yeah, there is going to be a lot of boxes from Proven Winners today, and I'm so excited.
Hey friends, it's Laura and welcome to my gardens at Lily Brook. I'm so glad you guys decided to come through my garden gate today, and I can't wait to share all of the tons of plants that came in to Lily Brook this week that need to get planted. We just had a bunch of rain and everything's looking so green and lovely, including this space which I call Lower Garden, which is full of roses that you can see are beginning to bloom up. It smells wonderful, it looks wonderful, and I'm excited to plant a bunch of new plants today. But first, if you have been in my new community here on YouTube, I just want to say thank you so much. You becoming one of my friends here has really been a highlight for me, and your comments have been so kind and lovely, so thank you so much. If you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing so that we can spend more time together in the future in the gardens. So guys, let's get started. First, I want to take you over and show you the labyrinth, because if you've been here before, you know we have a labyrinth here at Lily Brook, and we've been working really hard to get that space just looking amazing. And the first thing we did was we planted up garden room number 1, so I want to show you guys the progress of that. And also we put down an Alice in Wonderland walkway and seeded grass, so I want to show you guys how that's also coming along. Look at that blue sky above the labyrinth. Isn't that gorgeous? After all the rain we got, I'm just so happy to see that. All right guys, let's go into the labyrinth. Look at that Alice in Wonderland walkway, guys. I think this came out so great. Now that all the grass is grown up, it is looking so beautiful and magical. So let's head into garden room number 1, which I planted up, I think about 2 weeks ago now. You can see all of the plants in here look healthy and happy. And I've got some beautiful purple phlox in bloom. Aren't those gorgeous? Like, look at all of these. I can't wait to see them all filled in. I've got supertunias in here that will spill over the sides of the little stone. There's some more phlox back there and hydrangeas. And guys, I just planted this hosta back there in the corner. And it's one of those mammoth hostas, so it gets gigantic, so it should fill in that back really nicely. If you guys are wondering why I have such an eclectic mix of sun and shade plants in here, you may want to check out my video where I planted up this first garden room inside the labyrinth. That video is on my channel, and it shows you the different lighting throughout the day in this bed. So it really did call for sun and shade plants in this one garden bed. Back outside the labyrinth, we have a very large garden we're going to be working on today. If you guys can see, we've already pulled out all the weeds, put down weed control fabric, and mulched this area. Last year, this huge hillside garden was full of wildflowers, but it is so large, and I'll show you guys just how massive this garden is. It was so large, it was gorgeous. Not gonna lie, the wildflowers in here were gorgeous, but keeping the weeds down in this was impossible for just the 2 of us. So this year we've decided to do perennials, and we, along the deck, have put in black-eyed Susans and ox-eye daisies that I actually grew in the greenhouse myself. So all along this deck, the entire way, so they will fill in beautifully. But then out in the larger section that goes down the hill, we have bought so many shrubs and perennials for that area. And that's what Proven Winners was delivering today. So I want to show you guys all the different plants that I purchased for this hillside. And really, it's going to look beautiful. They're all flowering things. But really, it's so that we can cut down on the amount of mowing on hills that we have to do, because I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but this hill is quite steep and it's a real bear to mow this. And while I love some grass, I'm a gardener at heart, so having more flowers and more gardens is always welcome for me. And we cut down on the weeding as well by adding the weed control fabric and then just cutting out for these beautiful flowering shrubs and bushes that we got. And don't mind my grass is a little long down by the pond, guys. We've had so much rain and it's still quite wet down there, so we literally cannot mow yet. So we could mow around the house, but we could not mow down there because it's just soaking wet. So we will get to that hopefully very soon. Guys, I'm walking over to Topiary Garden, which I'm also going to be planting up today, and I wanted to show you the shade garden because it has grown up so beautifully just in the couple of weeks that I planted it. A lot of the hostas came back from last year, even though the deer had a field day with them. And we've since solved for that problem. But all of the new hostas and things that I planted in here have grown up too, and I think it's looking so lovely already. Check this out, guys. Look how full this is starting to look, and it's just the beginning of the season. The heucheras are a little slower to grow, but every hosta in here is loving its life. And I'm just really happy with the shade garden this year. I can't wait to see it, in a couple more weeks when they've really started to establish their ground. Anyway, I got sidetracked. But the Topiary Garden is the next place I'm going to be working today. So we added this new ring of boxwoods, and those actually are not weeds. Those are itty bitty daisies that I planted a little late in the season in the greenhouse, but they're holding their own out here. They really are. So I brought them out and I put them in the ground, and here's hoping that they're going to do amazing. But with all that rain, guys, look how big the second and third ring of the boxwoods got. They're like swallowing the hydrangeas in there. I don't know if you guys can see them. So we're gonna have to come out and give them a nice haircut now that the rain is done and make them look all trimmed and beautiful. So this ring needs trimmed, and then this one. And these probably won't need trimmed till next season because they're planted far enough apart that it'll take them a little bit to grow together. So guys, Dan started on the Topiary Garden first, so I guess we're gonna do Hillside second. I think it's because he secretly likes running the hedge trimmer for the boxwoods. But we just tilled it all up, and now we're gonna plant, I think there's 30 or 40 daisies in here. Here is the first batch of beautiful Shasta daisies. So this is what I picked up, guys. So we got all of our Shasta daisies planted, and there was about 40 of them. And so they get about a foot wide, so they should fill in quite nicely. at least I'm hoping they fill all the way in this gardening season. So now we're going to trim the second and third row of hedges. And now here comes Dan's favorite part of the day. Now we just have to be patient and wait for the boxwoods on the third row to grow together and for our daisies to fill in. But I know this is going to be such a gorgeous garden when it does, and I can't wait to see it. Jackson thinks that Topiary Garden is a racetrack. So now we can move on to working on Hillside Garden. And guys, after a week worth of rain, I'm feeling so accomplished getting all of these gardens, up and ready to go for the gardening season ahead. Just feels good to be out in the gardens without rain pouring down on us as we're trying to get our work done. So I'd like to share with you guys the shrubs that we've decided to put in the garden here. Last year I planted 7 rows of Sharons along the border here of the deck, and I have to say they are so gorgeous when they bloom. I'm so impressed with this shrub. I had to have more from Proven Winners. So I ordered blue chiffon and pink chiffon rows of Sharon. I ordered several of those to put all throughout Hillside. I also picked up Star Blast, which I'm so excited to see bloom. I think the flowers on that are so gorgeous. And I also ordered magenta rose of Sharon. One of the other things I'm really excited that I ordered was the Boomerang Ballerina, I think it's called, Proven Winners, reblooming lilac. And I've never had a reblooming lilac before. I'm really excited about that because I love lilacs. They're one of my favorite flowers and they smell incredible. They're great for bringing in for a cut flower arrangement. And so I ordered several of those here for Hillside Garden. I also picked up some Simply Sensational sweet shrub. So it's time to get planting, guys. The first thing we have to do though is pull back the mulch where the bushes are gonna go. And then we need to cut through the tough weed control fabric we put down in order to get the plants in the ground. Then we need to cover them back up with the mulch and wish them well and a happy long life. We used some really heavy duty weed control here because I'm not kidding when I say that I do not want to weed this garden. Like at all. If it wasn't bad enough to have to mow a hill, I definitely don't want the job of weeding it. So we used some really heavy duty, so much so that this knife won't cut through it, fabric, weed control fabric here. All right guys, I'm gonna need something tougher to cut through this. Here's something tougher, Dan. Oh, you made that look so easy. Okay, apparently I was just maybe cutting the wrong way. Womp womp. So we definitely want to make the hole big enough so we give the shrub lots of room to spread out.
When I walk into the farmhouse at the end of the day, covered in dirt from head to toe, I have to smile. I feel a sense of accomplishment for all that I've nurtured in my gardens. Yes, it's a lot of hard work, but when I stand there and see all the beautiful flowers and I drink a lemonade in the shade of a tree, I just feel a peace come over me. Here is where I create. Here is where I love my family. And here is where I nurture my soul. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video.